Chasing Points podcast. Episode 187. I guess I'm a little rusty here. These gentlemen held down the fort last week. I have a lot of shit to say about what they talked about, but we will get to that through and through. So there may be shots taken. But regardless, gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Better now that I see you and that you're here with us again. You're back. We're all back now.
Yeah, we missed you.
Yeah, we did miss you.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
Feel whole, you know?
I'm happy you're back. How you been, man?
I'm gonna punch a hole in all your chests. That's what
How
I'm
are
gonna do.
Look at us. We're being kind. We're asking you how you're doing.
This is crazy.
It's an
how
emotional
you guys,
day for you.
It's not that it was emotional, but it's all good. I am okay. I'm alive. Nothing too serious. I'm here back with the friends, and having to hear as I was driving and doing certain things, hear you guys talk your shit and not want to share your golf clubs with me. And what else did you guys do? Yeah, I thought this is when you got friends like you guys who needs enemies, you know?
So they say.
That's all I got to say about that. So again, I'll ask you guys, how are you doing?
Doing great. Happy Monday. Happy to be back. Truly just happy to see you. Like, that's really the...
All right, so we're going to get into the NFL. We got some dubs, some L's. I'm not doing this with y'all today. We got some interesting ones.
He asked the question twice.
Yeah, I did, and I made the mistake of even asking it once. Yeah, so let's just get into some dubs and some L's. It was a very interesting weekend of football. Through college and NFL. We won't be talking about college, but Penn State sucks. I hope this fires James Franklin. So there's that. But let's talk about what has happened in the NFL, gentlemen. Who would like to start with their dub?
I guess I'm first on the list, so we'll get exciting because this guy was super exciting on Sunday.
Okay.
In a game that shouldn't have been exciting at all. We got, the Panthers versus the Dolphins, bottom dwellers in the league. We get a nice reprieve, and we get Eric Collins, who is, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but he's the Hornets announcer. He's known for going all out on his calls, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, just over the top, really. But it worked with football, even in some of like the mundane plays with Rico Dowdle busting out for like 25 yards. He was just electric. And then you got a good finish. So the teams were going back and forth, because that's what bad teams do. A lot of punts in the middle there, but we got some electric plays at the end. So if you get a chance, NFL posted, a lot of the highlights of him calling, the plays, and it was just electric stuff. So I want to hand my dub to him. I'd love to hear him on more games. Obviously, NBA is coming up, so it'll be a little busy, but the more times I can get him on games, especially the bad ones, to just spice it up a little bit would be awesome. So he gets my dub.
I did hear a clip scrolling through Instagram. It was very animated and entertaining. So I definitely encourage people to listen to that. Very, very fun.
It's like Gus Johnson times 2. Yeah. So.
Maybe times 10.
Maybe times 10.
Who would like to go next?
I have the Bucks and the Seahawks. Well, I have the dub going to the Bucks because I won the game. But, man, this was a fun game. Originally, I was going to put Ohio State receivers because they all seem to have pretty big games. I mean, I don't think Olave really did, but we won't talk about that. Sorry, Brendan. But yeah, no, this was like, there were a lot of cool games this week coming down to the wire too, but this was just a shootout, and the Bucks keep winning in like last minute fashion. I think they have 4 wins. All 4 of them have come, at the end of the game here. Baker's just has developed this, like, not developed, but honed this like clutch gene over the years. And it pains me to say it because I was never really a huge fan of his, but I have to respect the game. And, we talk a lot about certain quarterbacks or teams shuffling through different offenses all the time. Jalen Hurts is an example, right? I think you said Hayes every year of his career, probably going back to college too, right? He's had a different
Going back to
coordinator.
high school.
Probably, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, similar kind of thing here. The Bucks get a new offensive coordinator every year because they're becoming head coaches. But this Emeka Egbuka is here. He has arrived. Just a stud. Was a stud in college. Showing it here, and without Mike Evans, without Chris Godwin, without Bucky Irving, this team, the offense still clicking here, and Sam Darnold looked fantastic. I mean, it's I know that interception at the end, right? And it's huge. But they were going, once the Seahawks caught up, they were going shot for shot to the end of the game. It was a really entertaining game to watch, and watch the highlights again this morning just to kind of because I knew I wanted to talk about it. I figured one of us would talk about it. So just fun in the late window of a Sunday afternoon, especially when there's not much baseball to really pay attention to, but we'll get to that later. This was a fun game, and it makes me proud to see Sam Darnold just do this, because I still love you, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this game too, but you had put it in the rundown already. But I mean, Baker has to be the early season MVP. I mean, the guy he's playing the best of any quarterback right now. He's leading them to win, last minute wins. But yeah, Egbuka, like you touched on, is just ridiculous. Him and JSN in that third quarter to fourth quarter were just trading ridiculous plays and catches. And yeah, like you said, Sam Darnold made, of course, an unfortunate mistake at the end. But the time before that, when he had the ball, he made one of the best plays I've seen a quarterback make all year, moving around in the pocket and then throwing a touchdown to take the lead. So yeah, hats off to everyone in that game. It's always cool when, the Seahawks are pretty good and at home, because their crowd is just so fun to just be, involved in and watching. So yeah, just an awesome game. Best game of the day easily for me. I was locked in on that one, even while my other team was not doing so hot. So
yeah, all of our teams lost. All of our teams lost. A lot of them in embarrassing fashion, and this was just fun to watch. So,
just to touch on Baker real quick, I still really not fond of Baker, but to your point, Sam, I have to respect him. The one aspect that I do love about Baker, if you're going to come at him, you better be ready, because if he wins, he's going to come back to you. I don't know if you guys have seen the clip now where the fans were getting at him, and then when he went in the tunnel, he made sure he turned around and let them know all about themselves. So I love that, giving it back to people. That aspect of his game I do enjoy. But Baker just still annoys me. But he's been playing absolutely solid. It has nothing to do with his play on the field. My dub this week is, I actually am going to give a hidden one that I have here. One is to the Sooners.
Sneaky.
Because the Sooners had 6 starters yesterday from their college.
I picked the wrong one to root for, but that's fine.
You did. You did, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But shout outs to them for that. But also shout outs to the Pats, who is my actual dub. Beating the Bills, which I'm sure none of us really thought would happen this year. There's a potential chance of it happening, but kind of the way that the Patriots started off the season didn't really look too well. I know we've had a conversation last year about Drake May, and I know I definitely stood on the hill and thought that he could be something. And I know Harrison wanted to see what he was going to be, and Drake May has arrived.
He's here
at this point. He is definitely here. The throws that he made. But I also want to give credit to Stephon Diggs, who pretty much was sent out to pasture and shown that he still has the ability and burst to get down the field and get that separation. We haven't really seen that in a couple of years. I mean, his first year last year with the Pats, he went down with an injury, so we really didn't know what he was going to be. We saw in the past what happened to the likes of Odell, right? And being hurt and coming back and not knowing what he'd be. And then Odell gets injured in the Super Bowl. He would have been the MVP if he didn't tear his ACL in that Super Bowl, right? So you never really know what you're going to get with the ACLs. But seeing what's happened, seeing Vrabel kind of rally the guys, the defense that they played against Josh Allen and making Josh Allen look average last night was something very interesting to me. Josh just looked like he was confused every step of the way last night. And I thought that is something that should be highlighted because they are a Super Bowl contender, the Bills being that said, but the Pats are showing that we're not going anywhere and we have a potential bright future. So shout out to them for that one.
I'm not quite ready for the Pats to be like good again, but their upcoming schedule is so ridiculously easy. It's not even funny. I mean, they have New Orleans next, then the Titans, then the Browns, then Atlanta, then Tampa, obviously tough, then the Jets, Cincy, and then the Giants. So I'm not happy about this. I don't want them to be relevant again yet. But yeah, like you said, Drake May, he's doing the thing. Like he's what they obviously had hoped him to be. Very mobile, throws a great ball. My questions have definitely been answered. Obviously, he's got to do it more, but
of course,
he's got the tools there to do it. Like
absolutely,
you kind of like when you see it, you see it, and he's got that, which is why I wanted to see it early. Like last year, that's what I was saying. Like let's see it early, but he's fine. He's going to be. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for them to be good again and have a guy already. Like that's just annoying. It's just annoying.
I don't think you have to worry about it too much. I mean, I think it's just we're starting to see glimpses of it, but I mean, you still got to remember they still have the Bills in their division. They're not taking that division over the Bills, but they're going to probably make it somewhat competitive now.
It should be competitive. I mean, the Bills have not looked great yet, and obviously the Ravens game, we look back on that now and see where the Ravens are now. That's correct. Not as impressive as it was in week one. They beat the hell out of the Jets and then struggled against the Dolphins and the Saints. So the Bills definitely have some question marks. I'm not ready to like crown the Pats yet, but it's definitely going to be annoying.
Yeah,
sure. Anything the Pats do is annoying. So
Buffalo on a Sunday night, prime time, hard place to play, drove down the field, won the game.
Last time playing the Patriots at home at that too in that stadium.
Good point. Yeah, we knew. Every year we talked about it this preseason. We talk about every preseason. There's a team that comes out of nowhere, maybe not nowhere, just ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
we talked about the Patriots potentially being that team, just with the new, Vrabel's no nonsense and knows what he wants to do. And if Drake May continued to make the progressions that he did at the end of last year, then they're well on their way, and so far so good here. And they stopped the defense to stop a really good rushing attack, and just kind of made the Bills look like a normal team, and that's saying something. So totally. And this hurts me to say it, guys, out loud. So
it sucks.
Yeah. And I was dead wrong because beginning of the year, I'm not too impressed with the Pats. Not really expected much, but I'll tell you what, man, I was super impressed with Drake May. Looked like vintage Diggs. I mean, those couple of those catches along the sideline there. There was one in the third quarter, I believe it was, where May rolled out and Diggs ran a crazy route.
Yeah,
like looped around, then toe drag on the I don't know, like 5-yard line or something like that. It was impressive to watch, and like I said, it looked like vintage Diggs to me. I was really impressed with Drake May. A lot of poise, and the talent is undeniable there. And I think he's in a good system. I mean, Vrabel's a hell of a coach, as we know too. So they could build on this. They could definitely make a little bit of noise there. So within that division, real question for you guys: was it a dub or an L for the Bills whiteout jersey?
I didn't like those.
I wasn't a fan either.
I don't know if I really cared too much about them. I mean, the best jerseys this week were the Seahawks and Bucks jerseys, and it didn't matter what anybody did. Like those were the stars of the show. But for those, it's kind of like these rivalry jerseys I can do without. I could care less about them. This is for the kids.
I like some of them. The Bills one, it just didn't fit them. I don't know. I usually like whiteout jerseys. Like I like all white. I like that look.
Me too.
Something with the logo just didn't. Relax. All right. It's Sam, how did you feel about them?
I don't. Yeah, I like the aesthetic. Usually, I wasn't a fan.
Yeah,
I think those jerseys would look good, which the intention of them are. I think it would look good in a snow game. Like that, I think that's their idea of it. Like it's white, all snow, and then it'll be with them wearing snow and the ice like effect.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. But you literally had that played or shown in October. It doesn't have that effect.
It was something like the all silver bill decal and stuff. I didn't love it, but yeah, good game.
Well, I would love to hear what your dub is, Brendan. So that's what I would love.
It was hard to find one this week, I'll be honest with you. And you know what? It's going to really dovetail nicely into my L once we get to it. But the dub this week is for New York sports fans because I think there's going to be some coaching and managerial changes on the horizon with how poorly these teams have been playing. Congrats, New York sports fans. You'll have some new head coaches, new managers, hopefully within the near future.
I like that. You might as well go right into your L.
So let's start my L here.
That was the most backhanded dub I've ever heard.
That's how we're feeling. That's how we're feeling this week, Harry. My L is also New York sports, just in general. What a rough freaking weekend, huh?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Jets, getting handed a pretty big loss there by the Cowboys. You get the Yankees just forgot how to hit up north in Toronto. And then my lovely Giants. I think the clock struck midnight. We were all riding high, coming off the win against the Chargers, and Jackson Dart, he's the savior. And, Giants turned back into a pumpkin after losing to the 0-4 Saints, and frickin' Spencer Rattler, who looks like the Temu version of Pat Mahomes. I don't know if you've seen this guy up close, but it's just ridiculous. I don't know how. I don't know why I do this to myself every year. I feel like with football, especially, you get your hopes up. There's optimism in the air, right, in September, and it just gets dashed so quickly for us Giants fans. So let's begin.
That was the
start. So let's dig into the Giant game here.
Let's do
it. Started off great, right? I think I messaged you guys first time in, was it 5 years? I think it said.
He has a timeline.
First time in 5 years that they've scored a touchdown on their first two opening drives. That's amazing.
Let's go.
But it was great. I was like, you know what? Hey, we're looking pretty good here. And then it all just went to hell. Turnovers on 5 consecutive possessions. That is unbelievable. I don't know how that's even possible. Going back to the Cowboy game with the whole penalty, the 4 penalties of one individual on one particular drive, and now you got 5 turnovers on consecutive possessions. And Darius Slayton.
Send him to the moon, man.
Send him to the moon. I was done with this guy a couple of years ago, and I was surprised that they re-signed him and are paying him the money that they are. They're paying him like number 2 type money, and he is atrocious. If I have to see one more drop, contested balls, just can you freaking catch one? That flea flicker, granted, Dart underthrew it a little bit there, but I mean, if that were Neighbors, I would expect him to come down with that ball, make a play on it. The fumbles, the drops, Dart just for some reason throwing the ball on the ground on his scramble there. Things happen. I get it. It's a younger team. We got rookies playing, but it just enough's enough. I am just so down on New York sports right now. And after watching that whole game, just feeling really down about my teams. Like, you know what? The Yankees, they'll do their part. 4 o'clock rolls around, and boy, that game was over quickly as well.
It sure was.
And I just don't know what to say anymore. It's just, you you hope that these teams at least try to, at least compete, right? At least put forth a valiant effort, if you will. And then just to get your teeth kicked in, and repeatedly let down as a fan, it's tough, man. It's tough. So New York sports, what a atrocious weekend, and well deserving of the L.
Sam, you might as well follow that up because you have the Jets.
I'll just add it gets easier. You got Eagles, Broncos, and then the Eagles again. So
you have to go
on
to
a
the game
short week. On a short week,
and I have to go to the game this Thursday.
He's got to go to the game with the Eagles fan. On top of that,
oh, that's tough. Hate to see that.
Who's the Eagles fan?
Oh, I didn't know I was going.
Oh.
I'm going.
Oh,
you're not an Eagles fan. You're a fan of the dead Redbirds, but you can get to that soon. But Sam, you might as well go right now because you have the L for your New York team.
Here's the thing, Brennan. I know you have a rookie quarterback, and there's like excitement, so I get that. I went into this year like no expectations. It didn't even click with me until this morning that we're the only 0-5 team left. Like, you get beat so much, and I really feel like it started with the Thanksgiving game against the Patriots, the butt fumble game, which is ironic because very topical today. But
it sure is.
Yeah.
But it's just been a atrocious 15 years in New Jersey, or at least on one side, and I feel like the shadow of what the Jets, just mess is just clouded everything. But the Jets are really bad. They're the first team. I think they don't have a takeaway in their first 5 games. There's a bunch of stats that I saw when just on the Athletic or other websites, and I didn't even write half of them down because it's just like I have no expectations, but like it's just still really bad. I wouldn't expect, the offense is scoring in garbage time. That's great. The defense doesn't exist. It's like it all was an aberration. If they could play like they did a couple years ago, which is so far, 2022-ish, like it'd be, be competitive in these games. But no contest here. Just the penalties. It's been something that has just been all over this team since like Rex Ryan days. They're just undisciplined and make a ton of mistakes and a ton of penalties. And we have a similar schedule than the Patriots, but I don't feel confident in getting a dub in any of these upcoming games.
I think that's sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. I'm done.
Yeah, we'll commiserate here, and but I think that's the thing that is the most frustrating, right? It's one thing to lose; it's another thing to make a just complete mockery of things and or beat yourself, right? Like the Giants should have won that game, by all means, and they beat themselves, and that is like I said, sloppy play, undisciplined play. And honestly, and I didn't think it would get to this point this soon in the season. I don't see how Dable keeps his job if they continue playing like this, because this is a total reflection of him, of the coaching staff, and just the lack of discipline, the lack of focus. And I don't see how Mara stands it and puts up with it much longer if this continues to happen. So, it's just a mess.
I originally thought he'd get canned maybe today, but then I realized that they have a short week, so they're not going to do that, especially against the Eagles. You're not going to do that.
I think it's tough, too, especially being tied to Dart, and Dable's supposedly a quarterback guru, which I think is complete, total BS.
Stop with that nonsense.
Yeah, 100%.
I need to.
But I don't see how he keeps his job past this year. That's where we're at right now. So
listen, so to piggyback off that is I've fought with this several times on this podcast about how people are so quick to anoint these coaches, these gurus of their positions, and they're the best quarterback whisperer and whatnot, right? I'd say the only best quarterback whisperer in the NFL right now is Kevin O'Connell, the coach of the Vikings. I would say him. being how every quarterback that has essentially come to him, regardless of where they've come from, has actually balled out in his system. Dable was the offensive coordinator with the Bills, or the just quarterback coach, right? So he was not the head coach. He didn't have to worry about all the other responsibilities. His only focus was worrying about what was going on with Josh Allen. And of course, when you have a talent like that, it kind of masks what you do. You can say, oh, yeah, this guy unlocked Josh Allen. Or maybe Josh Allen figured the game out. Maybe he's just that good and figured the game out. Again, I will say, and I would die on this hill over and over again, sometimes I understand people's aspirations, and I've never one to knock that. But sometimes some of these guys are better off just being the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, and not understanding. I mean, you don't know until you actually do it, right? And be a head coach and understand how hard it is. And then some just go back to being what they really were, and that's it. Look at Chip Kelly. He's an offensive coordinator, right? He's really good at offense. He was not great in the NFL. We don't have to do that, but he's back in the NFL. Went to college, did all this, got his name back up there, and look where he's at now after winning a national championship.
Spags, Vic Fangio. Spags is the poster boy of this. Vic Fangio. I mean, there's so Jim Schwartz. There's so many guys like this, but there's 32 head coaching jobs in the NFL. You would, of course, you want one, right?
Of course.
So tried it, didn't work. I'm sure he'll be an OC somewhere next year or the year after, and
of course,
play.
He'll land on his feet somewhere. He'll probably go to college after he gets fired from the NFL, and then he'll come back after he'll go take Texas A&M to the playoffs, and then he'll be back the next year after that. Yeah, some weird shit like that. I do have a mystery L here as well, since I wasn't here last week.
Oh, two mysteries.
Oh,
yep. It is the turf and MetLife. I don't know. The NFL, you are continuously making the game safer. And yet and still you allow the ownership of the Jets and the Giants, who have buku money combined, to allow them to continue to put out turf that continues to take people's ACLs every single year. Please change that to grass. Please force them to actually put grass down there. Please make it easier for these guys, because somebody always gets hurt. And the fact that we have now don't get to see Dart and Malik Neighbors together until next year.
Yeah.
A real full thing. And even next year, I mean, probably mid-season next year. I think that if I was a Giants fan, and Brendan can speak to this if you'd like, it would piss me off. But just as a fan in general, we are now not seeing the opportunity of two young players that could potentially be electric together because of negligence. That we know that there's clearly a problem with that turf, and yet and still we still trot it out every year. It's like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. Have 20,000 goddamn concerts on that floor, and then it's like, hey, this is great, and then takes ACLs over and over. It's an ACL graveyard there, and I'm really sick and tired of it, honestly.
Achilles,
I really am.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Achilles, that's what it is.
And we touched on it a little bit last week too, and just add it to the list of things that piss me off about the Giants. That's fine. I don't want to take up the whole episode here.
No. Listen, this is what this podcast is for, sir. You're able to vent. You're a part of this.
That's right.
You need time, sir. We can sit here and listen. You know.
I think I need a session. Yeah.
Okay.
Bonus pod
therapy session. But yeah, and Harry, you mentioned it too with the World Cup and everything, and how they're
bringing in grass.
Yeah, that natural turf, natural grass gets put in all these stadiums. That, to me, we already know how bad the turf is, but to me that's even just more of a telltale. Like, hey, this is what you should be doing. Yes. NFL, like, wake up here. So
when FIFA is doing something better than you,
I was just gonna say, I never thought I would side with FIFA or Odell Beckham, but here I am.
Problem.
Yeah.
So my other L is Nick Sirianni and Kevin Pashithead. That's Kevin Petula for y'all. I know Brendan talked about him last week and wished I was here. I'm going to elaborate, since I couldn't last week, because it just only got worse this week. I'm mad at Nick Sirianni, not for the fact of, I'm not mad at him for the fact that they lost, even though I am. I'm mad because how can I say this? You decided to give a guy that never called plays for any team at any level an opportunity to be the offensive coordinator for a team that you brought back predominantly all the key players, added some new players, and have a chance to potentially run it back. And you say, you know what? The guy that we should get is a guy that's never called a play, not once. That makes perfect sense. So I see, as Brendan, you talked about with AJ Brown, and I know you messaged me and whatnot, and just seeing what has happened and how AJ is, not happy. How you can see Devontae Smith is not happy. There's now rumors swirling that on that deep pass that Jalen Hurts had to Devontae Smith, it was his play call. He audibled to that. It's been that a couple times that when he went and yelled at him on the sideline last week, it was his play calls that he did and audibled into these certain things. I don't know what Petula is thinking. Or not thinking, or whatever it is. But the fact that Saquon gets 6 to 7 rushing attempts in a game is asinine. I know that you were able to get the ball more to Devontae Smith and to AJ Brown this time. That is absolutely great. But when you're up 17-3, why are you still passing the ball like that when you have one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the league, and one of the best offensive lines in the league, and just run the ball down the throat when it's the Broncos' weakness? Make it make sense. Hold on. I can't, because it doesn't make sense.
There's no doubt that being an OC is probably difficult and everything.
I'm sure.
It can't be that difficult when you have that amount of talent on your roster, right? Like, I'm sure the four of us could probably draw up a few plays for AJ Brown and Saquon. Like,
shit, go to Madden. Yeah. Go to Madden. You can get a play there.
But to your point, Hayes, I mean, it's pretty crazy to see Saquon's, numbers this year. Just a lack of utilization, and obviously Hurts as well, and AJ Brown. So it's crazy to see, and like we've been saying for a few weeks now, like it shouldn't be this difficult.
It should not.
So yeah,
the way they've been playing. We all said it. It was not sustainable, right? We all knew it. You can see it with your own eyes. They're winning last second. It's cool, right? And this is, I don't know what it is with the Eagles when they start off the season in the last couple of years, but they start the season and the games don't look great, but they still win somehow, some way. Like, and mind you, they had just won 18 straight games. This is their first loss after 18 games. So for me, I'm sure some people are listening are going to listen and say, Brandon, shut the hell up. You guys are winning. You're doing this. And you're absolutely right. I'm very thankful, especially listening to my brothers and how they talk about their teams, right? Like I'm very thankful of that, but that doesn't mean that it's not infuriating seeing all the talent, as Brendan mentioned, watching it on the screen, just sit there just like this, watching AJ Brown watch a ball potentially just run and then stop and then run again and like, oh, okay, now I should run again. Like watching plays that you see every team is down in the box daring you to throw the ball and you're not doing it when you have these guys that could be ones in any other team. Like, what are we doing at this point? So I think Howie was going to get an L, but Howie's been doing so many great things as of late, so I can't really say anything. But Nick is definitely getting the L because he decided to go ahead with Kevin, even though he's been there for all these years.
I cut out for a second at the beginning of this, Hayes, but so I don't know if you mentioned this, but it just seemed, especially with the pass-heavy approach and Saquon having under 10 touches or runs, I think it was, like 9? Whatever
rushing attempts. I think it was 6 to 7 rushing attempts.
Yeah, whatever.
6, yeah.
Again, it should easily be. Yeah, it should easily be.
There should be a balance that you. I think we all can sit here again. None of us are offensive coordinators, right? None of us have ran an offense for a high school, a junior high, college, or NFL team, right? Or even semi-pro or Canadian football team, right? None of us have done that, right? But I think we all understand the concept of football that what happens if you have them loading the box, what do? You pass the ball. If they're not loading the box, what do? You run the ball, right? It's not that hard of a concept, especially with all the weapons that you have. And we didn't even mention Dallas Goedert.
I was just going to say
didn't even mention him in this.
Yeah.
And he's one of the better tight ends in the league. So the fact that, you're not utilizing this in the proper way and getting that balanced offense, I don't know where they go from here. But again, I will say this, and I will shut the hell up after this. Last year, before the bye week, it was this.
Yep.
Had no identity. When they came back after the bye week is when they reeled off win after win after win. So there's more than enough time, and they're still 4-1.
I feel like, though, I don't know if you said this while I cut out, but like so much, and it was overblown with the media of like AJ Brown, Devonta not being happy, like or frustrated, whatever it is. We chalk it up to what it is. It's almost kind of like either the play calling or Jalen or anyone was just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to feed these guys at the expense of everything else you just said, right? Like we have a lead against a really good team, a team that can score on both ends of the ball. So we have to take care of the football. And, it's just Jalen threw way too much.
Well, not for nothing. He did throw enough, but that wasn't the problem. They diced up the number 2 defense. They made the Broncos defense look like they are extremely beatable. The problem is they took their foot off the gas and they did not play protective football after that. And it allowed the Broncos to come back. And also kudos to the Broncos and Sean Payton, because he had some balls there. Going for that 2-point conversion.
He's never been afraid.
I'm a big fan of Bo Nix. I obviously was not rooting for him in this game, but I'm a big fan of Bo Nix. And Bo, again, another guy that has showed up and said, hey, listen, I'm here. I'm not going to back down. This Broncos team is good. And this is why I chose them to win that division, is because they can do things like this. So just because I talked about the Eagles and what they did, I do not want to take away from the Broncos. I don't. They were great. That's it. That's it.
They'll be fine. They do, you don't want to get into that kind of malaise that the Chiefs got into last year, where it's like, okay, you're winning, but it doesn't look good.
Correct.
And then when you face a team or you go up against it in the playoffs and you're put, back against the wall, you have no identity to lean on. So they got time to figure it out, and definitely talent all around the field to figure it out. So we just definitely need to see it, because
it's infuriating even for people that understand and just like to watch good football. It's there. It's just not there.
Yeah.
Harrison, close us out with your final L, sir.
Well, I'll set the scene like Bacon did here. This was.
We have time. It's fine.
We do.
This was the worst loss I've ever seen, and I know we talked Giants and Jets, and this one was not to compete, but it was worse. So Cardinals lost last 2 games by 3 points. They went into the season with expectation, like Jets, Giants, like, okay. They went into the season with some expectation and some talent on both sides of the ball. Had some crushing losses the last 2 weeks. So they go in to play the Titans at home. They jump out 21-0. Marvin Harrison finally looks dominant for once, catches, an amazing ball in double coverage. Everything's rolling. What do? They take the foot off the gas and allow a 0-4 Titans team to come back. They didn't even beat them. They beat themselves. So we start in the fourth quarter with a fumble off the face of Kyler Murray. Lose that ball in the red zone. Kyler
Murray
concussed
from that.
He could have been concussed from that. So we turn the ball over there in the red zone. So we're 21-6 now, still in the fourth quarter, 98.7% win percentage based on whatever the probabilities were. Titans don't score off that. That's fine. They get the ball back. Amari DiMarcado breaks a 70-yard run and decides to drop the ball before going into the end zone. We just saw this last week with Adonai Mitchell. We saw it earlier in the season. We see it twice a year, which is ridiculous. I can't even imagine why they just don't hold on to the ball. I can't even explain why you would do that.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
If you want, that's probably the worst mental mistake, but we have another one after that. So Titans score. Okay. Cardinals get the ball back, do nothing, give it back to the Titans. 21-12 at this point. Yeah, 21-12. They basically stop Cam Ward and the Titans. Cam Ward throws a pick in the red zone. Do
Weird.
they come down with the pick? They sure don't. They fumble the pick, kick it into the end zone, and the Titans recover it. So now we're 21-19. Love that. So Cardinals get the ball back still. They can still win this game. All they need is a first down. What does Drew Petzing and the Cardinals offensive coordinator do? He runs the ball 3 straight times, especially on 3rd and 8. When you have a multi-million-dollar quarterback that I guess you just don't trust anymore to get a first down, Titans get the ball back. Look at that, with a chance to win with a field goal. Cam Ward makes an outstanding throw outside to Calvin Ridley. Ball game. Titans win 22-21. Cardinals in disarray. And look, they got the Colts next, so things are looking real great.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'm so mad at this team. I want to like them. I like the talent that they have. I like Marv. I like Kyler. Feel bad for James Conner. I like this team, but man, they suck. They have like some serious organizational issues from top down. And they have, I don't know what the answer is. They don't seem to have one. Their schedule gets increasingly tougher. And, I said, the week the Falcons lost to the Panthers 30-0, that'd be tough to come back from. And Falcons did bounce back, but, losing this way is just brutal. And, they're going to have to show a lot next week against a team that's really good.
Well, number one, F their head coach. Number two, real question for you, because I know you're a Kyler Murray fan, but this is for you and also for the rest of squad here. At what point in time do we start to question the quarterback, Kyler Murray? And I'm talking about, I'm not just talking about this year. I'm talking about from all the years that we've seen. And obviously I know he's had multiple injuries and whatnot. And this young man has the arm talent. He has the ability, the escapability. He has a bunch of different things, but in certain moments doesn't show up, doesn't do certain things. So I want your honest opinion of what you think this looks like for Kyler. Do you think he needs a change of scenery? Do you think the scenery around him, like within the Cardinals, needs to just change? What do you think of Kyler and himself?
I think he definitely needs a change of scenery. I don't think that happens now. There's no other place for the Cardinals to turn. And they're not going to, take on money to trade him later. I would like to see him in a change of scenery. I think he's one of those quarterbacks in the middle bucket for me. Like, he's not an elite quarterback that's going to win you a Super Bowl. I think he's a good quarterback that can make a good team better. He's not a quarterback that's going to make a bad team better. And they just have so many issues across the offensive line and the play calling and just organizationally that he's just not going to mask over. So they're not going to move on from him, but I think he could do well elsewhere. So they're just in a rock and a hard place.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think anyone's looking at Kyler Murray as in this upper echelon. He gets paid like it, and that's the best the Cardinals are going to be able to do, right?
Yeah.
You get the first overall pick, you draft a quarterback for the second time in 2 years at the time, and then swap out regimes, and you're kind of just stuck with the guy. It's the same thing we talk about Trevor Lawrence all the time. The Jaguars kind of had to do it. And now they're just kind of stuck with it. And now you're seeing that Liam Cohen so far can't fix it. And Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning head coach, couldn't fix it. And it's just, the organization's failed Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's probably failed the organization.
Yeah.
I just think, I don't think anyone looks at him anymore as this top quarterback.
Yeah, it's a two-way street, and I would love to see Kyler with an offensive head coach. I mean, Jonathan Gannon's obviously defensive head coach, and he's left the offense to Drew Petzing, who I just hate the way they call games. And I obviously didn't watch them as much last year or the years leading up to this year. I watched them a good amount, but just seeing it week after week, the way they call games is a disservice to Kyler and how he plays, and it just doesn't match. None of it matches together. with how I think they should be, either trying to. Let's see what he has, but it's just like there's a governor on, and I don't understand why.
Kyler Murray is 16th in passing yards, which is ahead of Short King, the other Short King that Harrison put to the grave and brought back, Bryce Young. He's also above Patrick Mahomes right now, who's 18. He's above one of other Harrison's love, Caleb Williams, Penix, Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, Cam Ward, Lamar Jackson, and Trevor Lawrence. So he's in the middle of the pack, really, at this point right now, passing yard wise. So again, I believe there's and obviously for Patrick Mahomes and what you call it, Lamar, and I think Jalen, and even I'll say even Trevor. I think they're just not playing to their top abilities at this point in time. So, but I think Kyler has the capability of being that guy, but I think it's just a change of scenery. I just 100% believe that if he leaves Arizona and gets to a team like, let's just say, who could we say? I was thinking in my head the Vikings, like if JJ McCarthy wasn't there and they did that, like if he went there, that could be good. If he went to the Raiders, I think he could technically be good and take out Geno. I do believe he's better than Geno, but Geno is higher than him in passing, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I just was curious about what you thought about that. So, yeah. With that being said, gentlemen, let's move the hell on because we spent too much time on that. Let's go to some power rankings. Okay?
Do it.
Last week in the power rankings, I had the Eagles 1, Bills 2, Rams 3, Lions 4, Chargers 5. This week is a little bit interesting. At 5, I have the Niners. They're winning with Mac Jones. And Mac Jones looks just as good as Brock Purdy. That may sound blasphemous. He does. If you look at the numbers and what he's doing,
he does.
It looks good. He looks really, really good. Kyle Shanahan is another head coach that I would say is a quarterback whisperer because any quarterback that he has, he does well with. I won't talk about how he's failed in certain things, but he does. He creates one of the most exotic offenses in the leagues and is one of the better minds in the league. So kudos to him. But their defense, they're quietly 4-1.
Yeah,
quietly 4-1. Their defense looks good. What happened?
Half the team's hurt.
Half the team is hurt.
They have no one. They
brought Salah back, who's out here ready to fight. What's his name?
Anyone.
Cohen. You know what I mean? Pretty much anyone. Cohen, you would have lost that fight, but you got him back in the fold. The defense looks good, and they just need to be talked about a little bit more. So I hate the Niners, but shout out to them for looking well. At 4, the Colts, Indiana Jones, and the Colts just look good in general. They are for real. I don't know if we kind of, I know here we all talked about it. We're just like, okay, let's just see. They have the pieces, see what's going on. We talked about Daniel Jones and seeing what we've seen in the past. He's flourishing at this point, and so is the team. So the Colts at 4. At 3 is a tie. This is the first tie that I've had on the rankings. The Bucs and the Bills. Again, as you guys talked about and highlighted the Bucs earlier and what Baker's doing, they're 4-1. The Bills are 4-1. Both teams are fighting their asses off, and obviously the Bills just lost against the Pats, but the Bucs have played better teams in my opinion. So if I had to move one ahead of the other, I would have the Bucs in front of the Bills right now because looking back, as Harrison mentioned, the Ravens would have been okay, well, they beat the Ravens. The Ravens ain't shit. So that's where that is. I dropped the Eagles to 2. Again, talking about what I've seen and the offense not clicking, but the defense is what is keeping them in games. And their defense is playing championship football. And that is one of the major reasons why they are winning. And obviously they can score from time to time, and also special teams and a couple lucky breaks. That is really the reason there. But if they have a couple more weeks like this, they will be dropping down to 4 or 5. And I will gladly say that. At 1, though, is the Lions. The Lions have to be 1 in my mind is because the numbers that they're putting up on teams is absolutely absurd. And they look like since that first game, they have not stopped. They have not stopped whatsoever. And I know they're being talked about. I don't, but they're another team I don't think is being talked about much, but I think they are now. This whole week, I'm sure we're going to hear more and more about the Lions and the way that they've played. So I think they are the number one team at the moment. Just with the offensive output, we obviously didn't know what they were going to be losing their coordinators, and they look just fine. So that is my power rankings. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
I agree. I think it's been tough to rank this year. I mean, all of these teams up top, like their schedules have been so weak. And I think, we see holes in a lot of them. The Lions are definitely the most sure thing at the moment, but they have wins against the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens, which we are very down on.
Yep.
And the Bears. So, I mean, not a murderer's row either. But none of these teams have really kind of jumped out to me early.
Great. Sam, Brendan?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm alone. It's good.
It's fine.
All right.
It's true. It's true. It's hard to pick them this year. Like these teams are, I don't know. It's been weird this year.
Yeah,
weirder than years before.
Yeah, it's been hard trying to pick who's going to be where.
Well, we know.
It's hard.
I know.
I feel like that's good though. That's a good thing because it's there's some parity there versus a clear cut top 2 or 3 teams. So I think it's good for the game. It's makes it a little bit more unpredictable, a little more fun to watch and everything. So yeah, I like it.
Okay, let's see if we like Harrison's powerless rankings.
I'll go quick. These are really. I mean, this one is really hard to pick from too. We have 9 teams that have one win or less. So it's we got Dolphins 1-4, Ravens 1-4, Titans 1-4, Giants 1-4, Saints 1-4, Browns 1-4. They're my 5. Raiders 1-4. They're my 4. Dolphins 1-4. They're my 3. And Jets just have to be number 2 because they're 0-5. And then number 1 is still my picks. It will continue to be my picks until I go 500 or over 500 in a week again. So we could just get to the picks because
spoiler alert, he did not go over 500 this week.
It's going to be next week.
This week, Sam had texted the group and said we did not do great. Harrison warned all of us last week that we were all too close to his picks, and we should have thought about it that way. And he was right. But the champions of this week is Brendan and Sam, who both are 7 and 6. They both picked. Sam picked the Chiefs, and Bacon picked the Chiefs. So he's that's interesting. I went 5-8, and Harrison went 5-8.
Welcome to hell.
I'm still above you, sir. We're still gonna get to the records. Just chill out. I went a little risque that past week, but I'm reeling myself back in. I picked the Jags for the night game, and then Harrison picked the Chiefs. So our records overall, Sam currently has the crown. He's put some distance between me, but Brendan is right on his heels. So Sam is 50 and 26. Bacon is 49 and 27. I'm 47 and 29, and we really don't have to mention Harrison. But Harrison is 40 and 36.
Still above 500.
Still above 500.
Yes, he is, but
barely.
The gap is starting to increase as it has over the years.
Waterline is rising. Yeah.
Week 6 picks. Let's get into that. We have teams on a bye: the Vikings and the Texans. Thursday night football. We have the Eagles at the Giants. It will be the Birds that will win for all of us. Saying there is Sunday. We have another London game. It's the Broncos at Jets. I have OJ's whip. And we all have the Broncos in general. So there's that.
See what we did there.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Rams at Ravens. We all have the Rams except for Bacon, who has the Ravens.
Can I jump in real quick too? Nothing really related to the game because I really couldn't care less. But anyway, just speaking of the Rams, has anyone seen Puka Nakua's stats so far?
Oh, he's unreal.
ridiculous.
Insane.
He's insane.
He has 52 catches in 5 games.
Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah, he cannot be stopped.
That is MVP. A wild pace.
He cannot be stopped.
I think a couple weeks ago I said, top 3 wide receivers, and I had Neighbors in there before he got hurt, obviously, and I mentioned, Jefferson and Chase, and I apologize because Puka is right there. Yeah, he's goated.
Production wise, Puka is probably the number 1 wide receiver right now in the league. Production wise,
I mean 52.
Yeah,
receptions
and you have sharing snaps with Devontae Adams.
Yeah. He's the workhorse though. When Matthew Stafford needs somebody, it's Puka. It's not.
He's just open.
It's him. He gets in the slot. He gets the dirty yards. He does not care. Does not. He's a tough dude. Cowboys at Panthers. We all have the Cowboys. Cardinals at Colts. We all have the Colts. I'm surprised Harrison didn't pick his dead Redbirds. Seahawks at Jags. What was that, sir?
They got to show me now.
I dig that. I have the Jags. Sam has the Seahawks. Harrison has. We'll get to him. And Bacon has the Jags.
I want to see how the Jags play tonight.
I kind of wanted to, but I like the Seahawks team, even if they're crossing the country.
Yeah, I do too. I had the Seahawks, and I really like them, but I just want to see what the Jags do tonight.
That's fair. Chargers at Dolphins. Chargers. I don't even know why that's a game.
Chargers
Dolphins, that is.
I mean, Chargers haven't looked great. Their offensive line is in trouble right now.
Yeah.
So
Chargers. This is the problem in this era that Justin Herbert's there is they have flashes that they look damn near unbeatable, and then they look average at best. And I mean, again, it's very early in the season still too. So we'll see what happens.
I think they're turning they've turned the corner of being a team that's all right, this team's never going to get it done. Now they're just injury, bad
old
luck.
School Chargers.
Yeah. They're not the old school Chargers, but
right.
They, without Alt and I think they're out down another guard too. They're just going to look very normal for a little while.
Amari and Hampton's in a walking boot. So if you don't like that.
Not great. Browns at Steelers. I was going to pick the Browns, and then I saw Harrison pick the Browns, and I stayed away from it. So I stayed Steelers, Sam Steelers, Bacon Steelers, and Harrison Browns. Yeah. Patriots at Saints. We all have the Pats. Titans at Raiders. We all have the Raiders.
I don't feel great about this, guys. I don't think the Titans are any good. I know the Raiders aren't any good.
The Raiders are not good.
Yeah. I feel like it's a trap. It's because it's a toss-up game, pretty much. Niners at Bucks. We all have the Bucks. Bengals at Packers. We all have the Packers. Sunday Night Football. Lions at Chiefs, which I think is going to be a really good game. And the fact that we all picked the Lions, that probably means the Chiefs are going to win. And then Monday Night Football, Bills at Falcons. We all have the Bills. And then there's another Monday Night Football game. And Bears at Commanders. We all have the Commanders.
No, Sam has the Bears.
Sam has the Bears. I'm sorry. So why do you have the Bears?
Bears. I don't know. I think coming off a bye, I think this Bears team's just better. I'm not saying a lot, though, because they're still the Bears, and there has been the ebbs and flows, but I just like this team a little bit better.
Okay, cool.
That said, Commanders are good. I'll head cheer all you want. Nothing surprises me anymore.
All right. Well, you know what has been surprising me? The lack of effort and offense that the Yankees have been showing. So let's just get into that.
They scored 7 runs yesterday.
Sir, they scored 7 runs when?
I'm kidding.
After they got a mud hole stomped in their ass and Vlad pimped a grand slam and just looked at it and said, yeah, do something about it. After him and George Springer's dapping each other up. You know what? I'm sick and tired of them already.
Stupid Blazer.
I would burn that.
Yeah, that's gross.
I'd cut it in half. That's probably the worst team celebration thing out of all the teams, is putting a blazer on each other that has where everybody's from. That's whatever. It's dumb. Yankees are on the brink of elimination. Can they pull out an upset? Game 2 is when you guys hear this. Game 3, is Tuesday. Back in Yankee Stadium. Do the Yankees show up, guys? This is all. We can spend a lot of time here because I know we have things to say about this. What does this look like for the Yankees? Who's pitching, by the way? Is it
I'm assuming it's Rodon and then Killicam.
Okay. All right. So what's your thoughts so far on what you've seen? And do you think the series is salvageable?
No,
I don't.
Hasn't been
No.
good. Yeah,
No.
and I don't know. Yeah, I think it's over. Hate to say it.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, yeah, they're just better. Just better. They just, put bats on balls and just get the ball in play, and yeah, they're just better.
I hated hearing David Ortiz say the only way that the Yankees are going to win is if Jeter, Mo, and all of them came back to play. But he's right. I don't. It's. I will say the win in this is exactly what Brendan said earlier. And Sam and I have gone back and forth against each other, and Sam has given Boone a chance many times against me. And he wanted to get in. I've stood on this hill firmly and said they need to get rid of Boone. And I 100% believe that just because the team got to the World Series, it gave him this extra little leeway, whatnot. That is like the Danny Dimes thing when he was brought them to the playoffs, and it was like, okay, this is great. We saw this little flash, and here, let's give him all this money, right? It feels that way, and it felt that way, and I feel it's worse with Boone because you're wasting a generational talent in Aaron Judge. And obviously, I know it's not Boone out there playing. I know it's not him out there fielding the balls because we know that defense is terrible, but that has to be coaching too, right? The defense, it has to be the players and their confidence. It's a combination of a multitude of things, but send his ass to the moon. Send him to the moon. Get him out of here. I'm tired of seeing Aaron Boone's face and then him talking in the press conferences like everything is okay. It's not okay. You're out here getting absolutely stomped and embarrassed. And this is the playoffs. This is the playoffs that Aaron Judge actually statistically has shown up, and we're wasting it again.
I think they would have had to lose that last series. I think they, now with Cam kind of having his breakout party, I think you go into next year with like a rotation of, Cam, Garrett Cole, Rodon, and Fried, and you're like, oh, everything's fine. But
it's not.
But that's the thing with Boone. Like the question's like, who is making the decisions? Because it doesn't seem like he is, and it seems like we're going to our analytics book because a sane person wouldn't take out Fried when he's rolling like that in game one, and it's just like he seems like he has his hands tied to whatever's going on in the back channels.
I agree. I don't
Jazz and Ben Rice not being in when they're two of your best players.
Those aren't like rational people managing people decisions. Those are like, all right, what do the numbers say? And it's like, if that's what they're going off of, how do you fire Boone? Because he's just doing what he's told.
There's been a lot of, and we've talked about the Yankees a lot and more negatively than positively, especially from 4th of July on, where the brakes fell off, the wheels fell off. But, just organizationally, they, there's minor, and I'm excluding Clint Frazier here, but I've heard a lot of other minor league or players that have been in the Yankees minor league system. Just basically, it's all about exit velo and not necessarily fundamentals and different things. It's an organizational thing, and whether that's Cashman and his army of analytics guys or whatever, I don't think Boone's making all the decisions, but I think it's time for a change, and you're right, Hayes. We've gone back and forth on this for a long time. I didn't want Girardi fired.
Same.
Should have been. It made sense. It's fine. I think it started to get really weird. The Nestor thing in the World Series was atrocious. It still doesn't make any sense. Too. And then all the just mismanagement of certain. I love believing in your guys and doing that. And Garrett Crochet is the Cy Young winner, if not Tariq Skubal. That's a really tough assignment for a lefty and Ben Rice and Jazz. But there's a thing about, I work in numbers. I like numbers. I'm not good at math, but I like, there's value to analytics. But, you can't bench a guy who went 30-30, who is just the spark plug.
Correct.
Probably won't take it well, and then put in Ahmad Rosario, who is a good player and who hits lefties really well, and that's great. But have him play third base for, or just like, there's other ways to do this. Ben Rice, I'm beyond. I was going to originally say who gets fired first, Dable or Aaron Boone, but then I realized, as I mentioned before, that the Giants are playing on a Thursday. They're not going to fire Ryan Dable tomorrow. So, I just don't think this. I think Aaron Boone's toast by the end of the week, because we could show up today and tomorrow, and we're going to go back to Toronto. Something's going on there. They're really good at home. They have great fans. I have a lot of friends in Toronto. The city is great. The fans have been really into it. I've office. I go there for work every now and then. Like, Toronto's great. They're really good at home, and we could win these two games and just who cares? It's going to be over. That's just how I feel. That said, pour one out, a moment for Cam. I'm not going to say his last name because I can't, because I keep doing it and it screws up. But what an incredible performance on the other day, guys. They couldn't. I know we were talking throughout the whole thing, like they couldn't see him. They couldn't hit any of that. 100-mile-per-hour sinker up in the zone, like no chance. Like it was crazy. It was unreal, that kind of performance, and I felt really good about this team after that, and it clicked quickly, as we've all kind of said throughout the pod, and it's deflated.
They poked the bear when it came to Cam.
Yeah,
you don't talk about somebody's mom and think you're just going to get away with it. I love what he said walking off the mound. Let's just put it that way. He's a New Yorker now. It is what it is. Brendan, you've been sitting there quiet, and I know you have a lot to say.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Where do I start? I think a lot is going to be said about how, the Yanks show up tomorrow night, right? Tuesday night when this episode gets released, but the day of. But, we'll see how they come out. If they come out flat again, then I have to assume Boone gets fired. I kind of expected game one for them to be a little flat, going through that series with Boston. Obviously that's a big series. A lot goes into that, a lot of emotion, then traveling up to Toronto to play game one. But, yesterday was just ridiculous. And it comes back down to pitching too, right? So, we can blame Boone and analytics and Cashman all we want, but the team didn't show up. I mean, to allow, was it 23 runs in 2 games? That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
So you're never going to win that way. And again, it comes back down to pitching. So, I hope that they come out, rolling in game 3. Rodon, I just looked up his numbers against the Jays this year. They're decent. He does pitch better at home too. So we'll see. But I think this series is over, unfortunately. But and and hats off too. Speaking of outstanding rookie performances, I mean, Savage was a monster yesterday. 5 1/3 hitless innings, 11 strikeouts. So got to give him his credit there as well.
He was pitching an A ball to begin the year. Like,
yep.
He was drafted last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's one great decision, which was DFAing Stroman and then bringing him up. That was a great move. You're talking about for Cam, right?
No, Trey Savage, the pitcher for the Blue Jays yesterday.
Sorry, I was thinking about Cam. That was all that was on my
Cam
mind.
was pitching for the Renegades last year, 2 years ago.
Yep.
So I mean,
sure was
similar conversation.
Yeah, I'm just so over Aaron Boone, man. I just really am. I don't need to see it. Take him, take James Franklin, and take Dable, and send them all somewhere. just send them all somewhere, please. Please.
It's just time for a change. It's been at it so long. And
it is.
Nothing to show for it.
And to your point, to have a generational talent in Judge on the roster, like we can't afford to waste. And he's 33, so he's only got maybe a few years left, of prime, and this level of production. So you better strike while the iron's hot, and then while you can here, because, and unfortunately we've seen it so many times in New York sports. Looking at like the Rangers with Henrik Lundqvist, that's just heartbreaking. I mean, one of the best goalies in the world during his prime, Vezina, winner, and yes, they got to a cup, lost to the Kings, but anyway, New York just finds a way to kind of waste these talents that they have.
But that's the thing. 2014, you would have said that this Ranger team would. How many Stanley Cup finals?
Oh, I know. Yeah, they were.
Would we have had
primed? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I if you told me that was it, I wouldn't believe you.
I know.
But
that's how
Shesterkin just taking over. But yeah.
But that's how fleeting these moments are, right? Like nothing is a given. Yeah. So you got to do everything you can to maximize your chances of winning a title. And if that means, if that means trading Spencer Jones, if that means, like we were saying too, I mean, I know this Paul Skeens is it's a long shot, not going to happen. But if you have that opportunity to, obtain a player of that caliber, and it means getting rid of like a Dominguez or Spencer Jones, who are definitely not sure things, then that's you got to roll the dice there. And I applaud the GMs who are willing to do that. Like the Padres, exactly. Yeah. So it would just be a shame if Judge doesn't get a ring.
Yeah, I agree. Monday, October 6th, when we're recording in the evening, the Dodgers versus Phillies. It's game 2. That's on TBS at 6 p.m., which you already see the results of that. Cubs and Brewers, Brewers came out hot. And then Tuesday, today, when you guys hear this podcast, you have Seattle and Detroit, game 3, 4 p.m. That's on FS1. And then Toronto versus the Yankees, game 3. That's also on FS1 at 8 p.m. So it is that time. Do you care? The Aces up 2-0 on the Mercury. I do care. Shout out to the 3-time MVP. But I have not watched barely any women's basketball this year. So
are these MLS teams?
Wow. He's on his own, everybody. Yeah, Brendan is on a lake.
So why are you talking about the WNBA?
Yeah. Game one was really close. I watched that one. That one was really good. Aces won by 3, and then they won again yesterday by a lot. I didn't watch that one, but yeah. The Las Vegas Aces crowd is awesome. I was lucky enough to go to one game there, and it was just sick. Like Vegas just does it right. More pro teams in Vegas.
Well, it's happening.
Yeah, I
can't wait to see the
baseball,
the athletics. They'll be there soon enough. I mean,
maybe.
Yeah,
they don't have a stadium yet.
Maybe.
NHL starts October 7th.
Who put that in there?
I only care about hockey when it comes to the playoff time, but I know there's a couple people in here that absolutely care, so you can go ahead and talk about that.
Rangers start against the Penguins. We'll see what they look like this year.
Is Jaromir Jagr still playing?
He probably
is, right?
Honestly,
yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm about to look that up. Hold on.
Should we be excited about the Rangers, Brendan? I have not been tuned in. And
excited?
No, we'll table this.
No,
we're running
probably
long.
Not. Probably not. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, put it this way: I'm expecting a bounce back season, I'm not expecting them to win the President's Trophy again. So
Gotcha.
I think they're going to be a better team this year, especially with new head coach, new system in place here. They got rid of a couple of guys that maybe going back to being undisciplined and forced turnovers and stuff. Got rid of a couple of guys who were a little bit sloppy on their own end. Keandre Miller being one. But we'll see. It should be a competitive team. Like I said, they're not going to be the toast of the league this year by any means. But who knows? They could.
Did they change their head coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
Mike Sullivan. Yep. Who was a bench coach for the Rangers at one point. So good to have him back.
But he knows the stadium well.
Jaromir Jagr, not playing in the NHL, but still playing in the Czech Republic. At the age of 52 years old, entering his 38th professional season. Yeah.
That's wild.
That's wild.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Speaking of old.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of wilds, The Decision 2.0. There has been a trailer released about LeBron and a Decision 2.0. And I'm going to say I don't care because it's him trolling again.
Yeah.
Because he's not retiring. And for all you idiots that made the last game of the Lakers, that was $85 at the beginning of the day before the announcement happened, made the tickets $455 and up because y'all thought that he's retiring. You get the L. You get an L of the day. LeBron is definitely not retiring yet. He's looking forward to a full season with Luka and potentially another, or see where it goes after this. He's not retiring. He's got probably another year after this, and that's maybe even two more.
I think
maybe two more after that.
I'll go with two. Yeah, I think the Decision one. it's going to be something so dumb.
Yeah, it's going to be him promoting something,
Amazon Prime Day or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and everybody's people are going to, because it's coming. It's coming soon, so I'm assuming it's probably going to come like tomorrow.
I think it's at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Okay, so just pay attention to Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called now, and all social media, because I guarantee he's going to get dragged for everything that is about to come. He already is.
I think it's a really good litmus test to be like, well, yeah, we don't care, like, because everything I've just kind of seen is we don't care.
I don't care.
I think he clearly deserves his flowers whenever that happens. And if he wanted to announce before the season started that he was hanging up and like get the whole standing ovation and the gifts at the half court and do that whole pomp and circumstance, if there's anyone in professional sports that deserves that, it's LeBron James, who is still a top 25 player at 40 years old. And just considering the amount of minutes and everything that has gone on. That said, it's probably going to be something stupid. And it's going to piss people off, just like the Decision pissed him off.
Yeah, fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will definitely not just retire. Like, he's doing the retirement tour 100%.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. I think Harrison, for those that don't know, Harrison is a huge LeBron stan. So he will defend him until he dies. But this is what I talk about when I say I know why people hate LeBron James. It's because he does stuff like this. With the Decision, the first Decision, it's just like, who the hell are you to make this decision and let everybody know? Like, now, mind you, it was for a great cause, but that got overshadowed by the Decision. Like what it was and the build up, everybody talking about it for a week, and it's people just believe him to be, self-centered, to have an ego. But I believe every superstar athlete has to have some sort of an ego to get to that level. If you don't, I don't think you're at that level.
I've thought about this a lot. Do you think it would be better if he didn't say, I'm taking my talents to South Beach? I mean, it did go to the Boys and Girls Club. Everyone wanted to talk about it. This is why him and his team are brilliant from a marketing standpoint. The attention for an entire 2 years before that and that whole summer was on what is this kid going to do?
What are you going to do? Yeah.
So let's leverage it into something. And yeah, let's give the money to the Boys and Girls Club and do all this stuff. But like, what?
I think it was.
Where's the point where everyone got pissed off? Was it the taking the talents thing? Was it the big three? Like,
yeah, it was very
Jim Gray. I don't know.
It was very Jerry Jones-ish, like from a guy that wasn't like that throughout the beginning of his career, where he was like more team centric. Like he's the one that passes. Like he's Magic, not MJ. Like not a selfish kind of player. Like he was just a more all around and do everything type of guy. But then it just made it seem rather selfish. And it's like literally the one misstep he's made in his career, which stands out so much more. But I guess it was a misstep, but also not one. I mean, he's still mega famous and it helped.
Yeah, of course.
So,
of course.
Yeah. I'm ready for the one tomorrow to be really dumb.
Yeah, it's going to be very dumb, and it's just going to be more. At this point, I just believe LeBron is just trolling people because he knows how much people hate when he does certain things. Yeah. So he just does things just to do them now. Like the whole thing that's on the internet where anytime like LeBron's like, oh yeah, I knew this was going to be like this. Like it's just a troll. Like he knows what to do and he plays the media so well. And I have to give him his credit because he is the first like major athlete that kind of, I guess, evolved with social media. Yeah, especially he literally was like right at the beginning, the cusp, and it was all the attention that he had. He was the biggest thing, and seeing that, that was when you had all these platforms starting to explode, and people can just say their opinion at any time they want to. And he's been Derek Jeter-esque for basketball. Like you don't hear anything about him, and like you said, Harrison, the only thing has really kind of been like the decision.
Yeah, he shaped all of this, like all of this ring culture and first take debate. Like that was all from Skip Bayless going at LeBron James and getting ratings. Like all of
still doing that, by the way,
and ESPN media wise and why things are the way they are. It's weird to give him all the credit for it, but like he shaped this stuff and he built this monster, and now he's just playing with it, and it's fun.
Pretty much for him, it is. Yeah, it's annoying for me. Whatever, bro. On that note, anybody like to say anything before we get the hell up out of here?
Go Birds.
All right, good.
Oh no, not really. Birds are
dead. Birds. Dead birds.
Doing bad.
It's hibernation season, I guess. Apparently. Sam, take us out of here, good sir.
187 in the books. We did it.
Lieutenant.
For everyone here and me. Happy Prime Day. I don't know. Isn't tomorrow Prime Day? Isn't a lot of people thinking it's like an Amazon thing?
That's what everyone thinks.
Yeah. Yeah. So for Harrison, Brandon, I'm Sam. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. And we'll be back next week with more bird takes. Take care.
See ya. My decision is not to watch The Decision. Goodbye.
Go Birds.